first time, the Wisconsin National Guard is hosting a summit focused on sexual assault and harassment prevention.
WMTV's Nicole Herzog joins us now. Nicole, today's event focused on victims' rights within the National Guard in collaboration with Marsy's Law for Wisconsin.
That's right. Marsy's Law was passed in Wisconsin in 2020. The constitutional amendment outlines a set of rights for crime victims, such as being notified of the time and date of court proceedings and the right to be treated with dignity and respect. Now advocates are hoping to educate sexual assault victims about those rights, especially within the National Guard.
The destination really is never achieved.
The Sexual Assault Prevention and Response Program has been a cornerstone of the National Guard for more than a decade. But for the first time, the Wisconsin National Guard is bringing those resources to members in a different way.
It's the journey of always making the program better every step of the way.
Through a collaboration with Marsy's Law for Wisconsin Friday, dozens of Guard members participated in a victim mapping exercise to teach members about the criminal justice system and victims' rights. The exercise takes members through every step of the reporting process.
We divide that journey into a number of stages, and then we really ask questions that are specific to each of those stages.
Sexual violence has affected National Guard members across the country. The National Guard says 833 sexual assault incidents were reported in 2023. So while having those conversations may sometimes be uncomfortable,
you start hearing that somebody got raped at a unit party, who are you going to be wanting to talk to?
Organizers say those discussions are fundamental in creating a culture of trust, respect, and prevention.
Conversations about victims' experiences are always important. And today is no different. And having leadership, asking those questions and providing spaces for stakeholders to get together and ask questions, remain curious, have another opportunity to show their commitment to victims.
The Wisconsin National Guard says they hope to implement more trainings like this in the future. For now, live in studio, Nicole Herzog, WMTV 15 News.